Let me begin by extending a very warm welcome to you to the Prime Minister's house, and also to extend warm greetings on Ramadan. We are deeply honored that the Prime Minister personally desired to have this session today with all the heads of missions of OIC countries in Pakistan. The primary purpose is to interact with you and exchange views on issues confronting the Islamic Ummah, and especially how we can work together to address the phenomenon of Islamophobia. You are aware that the Prime Minister has been at the forefront of international efforts to address this scourge. He has been calling for greater unity and solidarity among the Islamic countries to counter Islamophobia. And we know OIC's role in this regard is indispensable. So how we have organized this session is that first we will hear the Prime Minister's address, and then we will open the floor for short question and answer sessions and your comments and observations. So without further ado, allow me to ask the Honorable Prime Minister to address the group, and then we'll begin our proceeding.
Ji, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Again, I welcome all of you excellencies representing the reason I especially call you today because there is the level of Islamophobia has increased all over the world, and you have seen the way they have, the gulf is widening. I decided when I became the Prime Minister that I would do my best to bridge this gulf which was increasing between the Muslim world and the Western world. Under freedom of expression, it was okay to ridicule or mock our Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And in the Islamic countries, they felt that it was a deliberate attempt to insult us, to abuse us Muslims. They did not understand the Western mindset, and the Western mind did not understand the love and affection, the reverence we have for our Holy Prophet. And so what would happen is, because we, the Muslim countries, did never make a concerted effort to try and make them understand what we felt, what we feel for our Prophet. Because they do not treat religion like we treat religion. Every few years, there is some sort of comment, caricatures, some book which insults our Holy Prophet. There's a reaction in the Muslim world. The Western world then says they are very narrow-minded, they do not understand freedom of expression, they don't understand our values. And this cycle keeps going on and on. The primary target of Muslim countries getting together, the target is the Western audience and the Western heads of states. We're trying to tell them. We're trying to tell them two things. One, that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is someone who lives in our hearts, and hence, and we love and respect and revere him, and any, under the garb of freedom of expression, any insult to him, any ridiculing him or mocking him, hence our reaction. And so the Western people and the Western governments we need to have a dialogue and explain this to them, because they don't understand. I know Western societies. I've lived there. I know how they treat religion. So they can't understand this. It needs to be spoken at all levels, and they should be made to understand. This is number one point that needs to be explained to them. It needs to be explained on all the forums like UN Human Rights, it needs European Union, they also have Human Rights Commission. It needs to be explained to them. And it needs to be explained jointly by all of us. That's when it will have an effect. Secondly, unfortunately, terrorism and Islam, radical Islam, these terms became currency. So the ordinary people in the Western countries cannot distinguish between a moderate Muslim and a radical Muslim. They can't distinguish. So all Muslims become suspect. They need to made to understand that in all human communities, there are radicals, there are liberals, and there are moderates. All human communities. So if you judge any human community by its extremes, you will vilify it. So no society should be judged by its extremes. So this is what's happening, unfortunately, to us. Islam and terrorism have got, suicide bombing and Islam have been linked together by the media and by the Western analysts. So that needs to be de-linked. Terrorism has no religion. It does not have a religion. And so unless we do that, what happens is any act of terrorism by any Muslim in the Western countries, the whole 1.3 billion Muslims are blamed for it. We have to have a concerted effort to de-link the two. It's got nothing to do with Islam. A term radical Islam should never be used, because it in itself means that there's something in the religion. Radical Muslims, liberal Muslims, yes, but not Islam. Islamists means there's something in the religion. So these are subtle terms, but what has happened is this is what causes Islamophobia. And only us, we the representative of the Muslim world, only we can do something about it. Otherwise, no one else is going to. And once we do something about it, this will then seep into the media as well. And it can only be remedied if all of us, the Muslim states, have a concerted, and it's only a small, you don't have to have a big lot of material on it. You just have to address two things. The terrorism part and radicalism part in Islam, and the other is the sensitivity we feel for the Holy Prophet. Because they immediately, the moment we react, they said they are against freedom of expression, and they said they are very narrow-minded people. And they blame that on Islam. So either way, both these are the two areas which then feed into Islamophobia in the Western countries. And that's really my reason to inviting you here today, because I thought, it has to be a conversation we must keep having, even with your diplomats. All we want is that it will promote harmony amongst humanity. Right now, it's dividing humanity. Thank you very much.
To this briefing and sharing with us your views on this very important international issue. We all face this, and in the present world, there is this issue which we must jointly find a solution to it. And I think all colleagues will support you. We must explain to the international community the difference between Islam, real Islam, and extremism, religious extremism, and terrorism. There is a big difference, and we must jointly explain this. And I want to thank you for sharing with us this and calling us and raising this issue. And I'm sure my colleagues will share this information about this meeting with their capitals, and also will share with us here their views on this. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Turkey, in this regard, proud to play its part both bilaterally and multilaterally. We welcome and endorse the step the OIC foreign ministers earlier took in Niamey. We are closely working with the UN delegation of Brotherly Pakistan with a view to furthering the relevant OIC decisions with the UN United Nations bodies. We appreciate the efforts of Pakistan leading this initiative from the front very much.
It's my pleasure and my honor to be here with this meeting, and thanks Mr. Prime Minister to this very important meeting because we are now waiting what they want to do from the Western country. They work all together against any country for the OIC. It's very important to do like him together, by media, by dialogue, by anything. And I want to thank Mr. Prime Minister for your support to Palestine and convey warm regards from His Excellency Mahmoud Abbas, the President of Palestine, and warm regards from Al-Aqsa. It's for all of them Islam. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Excellency. I am Ibrahim, Ambassador of Jordan. And let me seize this opportunity to extend our thanks to His Excellency Prime Minister, who is seizing any opportunity to address the Islamophobia issue in any kind of international forum. This is well appreciated. Jazakallah khair. I believe that the media plays a very big role in this, and of course it needs a very big efforts and a collective efforts all together as Ummah. If I may say that just after the millennium and in year 2002, King Abdullah II took an initiative and we have released a man message. It was a product of months of meetings from different countries, ulama, scholars in general. It was showing the moderate Islam. Thank you.
Excellencies, thank you very much for the initiative and also for the invitation extended to us to hear your briefing. Certainly, Indonesia is also on the same planes. We are supportive of the initiative of Pakistan through the OIC, and there's numerous resolutions already been adopted by the OIC, and it serves as a good platform to way forward. And I think there are two things that we need also to underscore in trying to make known to the public that with regard to our effort. One, many already mentions about the important involvement of media. This is something that's very important. I understand it is not easy. We've been trying also to ask media to arrange meetings among media with the objective that they would come up with a code of conduct which inspire them how to be sensitive of other religions or other important issues. But I guess it is worth also contemplating once again to organize a meeting, among journalists, inviting journalists. So hopefully they would be able to come up with some sort of like a code of conduct for their further preference. There is a lot of interfaith dialogue already been organized involving interfaith leaders in the West, also in the Muslim world. But without the involvement of media, it is very difficult, because in the end, who come up in the media, the narrative in the media will be the direct or will be stated by those who written the articles or every news about the Islam. So I think the importance of the engagement of media, and in this regard probably OIC may contemplate of organizing a meeting among journalists representing the Westerns and the Muslim countries, so that they can have frank discussions and reflections what would be the best ways to prevent similar events in the future.
So Prime Minister, thank you so much for your brief sharing with us this really important issue. As my brother, the Ambassador of Turkey mentioned, the most important thing is to working on the OIC and the United Nations. And I think we should have a roadmap from now, put our efforts on it. Since the UAE will be next year a member of the Security Council of the United Nations, and also the next foreign minister meeting for the OIC will be in Islamabad. So I think we have great opportunity to put our effort on that. and working together, and make sure all of us in this room with Pakistan, supporting Pakistan in this effort, supporting you, Excellency, on this, leading the effort to support that.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for sharing with us your most pertinent thoughts and views and ideas about this very important issue, not only to Pakistan, but the whole of Muslim world. You will recall, sir, that it was just about 2 years ago, in this very room, that you and my former Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, had a very important discussion on this, among others, this particular issue. And it was, that meeting took place just a few days after the incident in Christchurch, New Zealand. So both our leaders, you and my former Prime Minister, we expressed our resolve to address this issue, including, you mentioned just now, the need for leaders of the Muslim world to engage in a constructive and sustained manner with the leaders from the Western world, to educate them about the sensitivities associated with Islam and the Muslims and Islamophobia, etc. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. First, I want to convey the congratulations of Fadilat al-Imam al-Akbar Sheikh al-Azhar to Your Excellency for the month of Ramadan, and also for your efforts countering the Islamophobia. And your message to him has been very well received the last month, and I think there is a sort of dialogue going on concerning your message. Thank you very much.
Thank you.